My husband moved his brother's whole family into our home without asking, so I called my mom. I'm 4 months pregnant with our first baby, and this pregnancy has been brutal. I'm sick all day and can barely keep water down. Last week, I passed out while throwing up and hit my head on the bathroom tile. My husband found me bleeding and rushed me to the ER. The doctor admitted me right away because I was dangerously dehydrated, and I spent a week on IV fluids while they kept checking the baby. When they discharged me, the orders were simple. Bed rest, no stress, no physical work. All I wanted was to go home and sleep. We walked in the front door and I stopped cold. The living room was trashed, dirty diapers on the coffee table, pizza boxes on the couch, toys everywhere. The sink was overflowing. Then 3 kids ran past me, screaming. I looked at my husband like, "What is happening?" He said, super calm, "Oh, my brother and his wife and the kids are staying here." I blinked. "Since when?" He shrugged. "Since yesterday. Their place had problems and they needed somewhere. We have 2 spare rooms." He hadn't asked me. He hadn't even told me. I was standing there holding my discharge papers and I started crying. He rolled his eyes and said, "Babe, it's not that bad." I wiped my face and said, "Fine, if it's not that bad, clean the whole house before I wake up from a nap." He nodded like I was overreacting. I didn't argue. I went straight to our bedroom and passed out. A few hours later, I woke up desperate for water. I dragged myself to the kitchen and realized every glass was dirty. Dried milk, sticky juice, cups on the counters, on the floor, even in the bathroom sink. I stared at the mess, waiting for someone to step in. Nobody did. My husband was scrolling on the couch. My sister-in-law was in the guest room with the door shut. I asked my husband, "Did you clean anything?" He said, "I was going to." That was it. I started washing dishes myself, shaking and crying, trying not to throw up in the sink. A kid ran into me, and I grabbed the counter so I wouldn't fall. The next day was worse. I tried to work from home at the table, but the kids were yelling non-stop, slamming doors, racing down the hallway like it was a track. Their mom stayed in the guest room for hours, ignoring them. I asked her to please keep them quiet because I was on bed rest. She didn't even answer. By the time my husband got home, I thought he'd finally see what I was dealing with. Instead, he looked at me and said, "You didn't make her feel welcome." Then he looked around and snapped, "Why is the house still a mess? What did you do all day?" I just stared at him. I said, "I was in the hospital. I'm still sick. I can't host your brother's family. They need to leave." He crossed his arms and said, "They're my family. I'm not kicking them out." My chest got tight and my heart started pounding. I knew I was about to get sick again, so I pulled out my phone and called my mom right in front of him. I told her everything, fast, between tears. She went quiet for a beat, then said, "Pack a bag. I'm coming." 30 minutes later, my mom showed up with my 3 older brothers. My husband's face went pale when he saw them. My mom looked around at the disaster and said, calm and cold, "If your family can stay here, then so can mine." She knocked on the guest room door and said, "Open up." My sister-in-law came out looking annoyed, and my mom handed her a trash bag and pointed at the kitchen. My brothers started moving without asking. One picked up toys, one cleared trash, one stacked dishes. The house got quiet fast because the kids realized nobody was playing. My mom walked me back to my room, tucked me into bed, and said, "Don't get up." From the bedroom, I heard her tell my husband, "You promised to take care of your wife. This is what you did instead." My husband tried to talk, but my oldest brother cut him off. "Couch," he said, pointing. Then my mom went back into the living room and said, "Okay, decision time. Your family is leaving tonight." My husband started, "Mom, come on." And my brother stepped closer and said, "Pick." The room went dead silent. My husband looked at me, then at my mom, and his shoulders dropped. He turned to his brother and said, "You need to go." His brother's jaw tightened, but he started grabbing bags. The kids whined and dragged their feet, but my brothers held the door and didn't move. 10 minutes later, their car pulled away, and my husband sat down on the couch like he'd just realized what he almost lost. Now he's saying I embarrassed him by calling my mom. Was I wrong for that?